Yo, what's up? Dr. Swole here, MD, pro physique athlete. Today I'm going to be giving you a full 6-day hypertrophy program based on the Arnold split. The Arnold split is a highly underrated split set up for 6 days per week that I think a lot of you should be checking out. The split is set up as chest, back, shoulders, arms, and legs. This split has some advantages over other popular splits like push-pull legs. This is going to be a low volume program that will be well designed for a beginner or someone who responds well to low volumes. We'll start off with a program walkthrough where I'll share everything you'll need to know to run the program yourself, including exercises, sets, and reps. Next, we'll talk about the weekly setup or how to spread out the workouts across the week. And finally, we'll talk about the pros and cons of this 6-day Arnold split program. Alright, let's do our program walkthrough. So this is Dr. Swole's Arnold split program. It's a low volume program set for beginners or people who respond well to low volumes. We've got chest and back day 1, shoulders and arms 1, legs 1, chest and back 2, shoulder and arm day 2, and leg day number 2. Here are the exercises and there are the sets and reps. Down here we have the total number of sets for each workout so you have an idea of workout length. And here are the total number of sets for each muscle group each week. Let's kick it off with our first chest and back day. We start off with dumbbell bench press for the chest, 3 sets, and we're using a top set back off method here. So you're going to work up to 1 top heavy set of 5 to 8 reps, followed by 2 back off sets of 5 to 8 reps with about 10% lighter weight. The top set back off method is a great way to get in some heavy strength work while still accumulating volume with those slightly lighter weights. Then we have T-bar rows for the back, 3 sets, and we're also using a top set back off method here. So you're going to work up to 1 top heavy set of 6 to 10 reps, followed by 2 sets of 6 to 10 reps with slightly lighter weight, and you'll be using the same reps for these. After that, lat pull downs for the back, 3 sets of 10 to 15. Cable upright rows for the side delts, but also the traps, 3 sets of 6 to 10. And finally, we finish up with some ab training. We've got 3 trisets. So to do a triset, you're going to do 3 sets of 3 different exercises back to back with minimal rest, and that will count as 1 triset. This is a good way to fit in lots of stimulus in a short amount of time, and also will work well with the fact that a lot of ab exercises are hard to load heavily. So you're kind of using that pre-exhaustion method to get a good stimulus from your later sets. I would recommend trying to choose exercises that will allow for progressive overload, like hanging leg raises or weighted crunches. Then we have shoulders and arms day number 1, dumbbell overhead press. We've got 3 sets and we're using a top set back off method here as well. 1 top heavy set of 5 to 8 reps, followed by 2 back off sets of 5 to 8 reps with lighter weight. You'll see that I switch up dumbbell and barbell work in my programs while keeping similar movement patterns. Ultimately, you are going to develop a pool of effective exercises that will work best for you. And when you're stalled in an exercise for a long time, or you're just feeling really stale with it, or if it's starting to cause you aches and pains, then you can swap between different variations of the same movement using different implements. So for example, for a while you might be using barbell overhead press, and then eventually you might switch to dumbbell overhead presses. And then later down the line, you could switch back. As long as you're stronger when you finish a cycle with an exercise compared to the last time you implemented it, you're going to be fine from a muscle growth perspective. Let's go on. Dumbbell curls for the biceps, 3 sets of 6 to 10 reps. And you can superset these 2 dumbbell movements if you'd like. Easy bar skull crushers for the triceps, 3 sets of 8 to 12. After that, lying bicep curls for the biceps, 3 sets of 8 to 12. And you're lying flat on your back on a horizontal bench for these. You can actually superset these 2 movements on a bench if you want to. Then we have cable ladder raises for the side delts, 3 sets of 8 to 12. Going on to legs, leg day number 1. Front squats for the quads, 3 sets, and we're using a top set back off method here. 1 top heavy set of 5 to 8 reps, followed by 2 back off sets of 5 to 8 reps with lighter weight. After that, dumbbell RDLs for the glutes and hamstrings, 3 sets of 6 to 10. As a note, if you are getting strong with these and grip becomes an issue, I would recommend using straps. Then we have leg presses for the quads, 3 sets of 8 to 12. You can superset these on the leg press machine with calf raises for the calves, 3 sets of 8 to 12. Since our calf training volume is low here, I would recommend taking these sets to failure. Then we have leg curls for the hamstrings, 2 sets of 10 to 15. Going on to chest and back day number 2. Incline bench press for the chest, 3 sets of 6 to 10. Then we have lat pull downs for the back, 3 sets of 6 to 10. Note that we have lat pull downs twice in the program, and they actually appear in a different order in the workout and with different rep ranges. You can totally use the same exercise multiple times in the week. In fact, as a beginner, that's probably a good thing because it gives you more opportunities to get stronger in that movement. In general, if you are going to program with heavier weights, that tends to do better early in the workout, while lighter weight, higher rep work does better later in the workout. Keep in mind that your performance will be different on these 2 days because because on the first one we have a back exercise, T-bar rows, coming before lat pull downs, while on our second chest and back day, lat pull downs are our first back movement. Next, we have cable rows for the back, 3 sets of 8 to 12. Then we have cable upright rows for the side delts again, 3 sets of 10 to 15. And finally, some more ab training, 3 trisets. Now, abs are a little bit of a controversial one. I don't actually think most people need to be training abs directly. The abs do get trained indirectly with most compound movements. And for a lot of people, they're better off spending their time actually training with those other heavy compounds. Also, people tend to get close to their genetic limits with abs pretty quickly, so it could be worthwhile training abs if you have the time as a beginner, but later on, I don't think it's necessary. That being said, if you are a beginner and you have the luxury of using a 6-day workout program like this, you have plenty of time to fit in some ab training. Then we have shoulders and arms too. We started with weighted dips for the chest and triceps, 3 sets of 6 to 10. Note that we do have these 2 pressing movements back to back on chest and back day 2 and shoulders and arms too. But you'll see that I've programmed these so that we have an incline bench press targeting the upper pecs more on the first day, and then weighted dips, which are a bit more of a lower chest movement on the second day. So you can get around the interference between days with careful exercise selection. Then we have easy bar preacher curls for the biceps, 3 sets of 6 to 10. Following that, rope press downs for the triceps, 3 sets of 10 to 15. Rope hammer curls for the biceps, 3 sets of 10 to 15, and you can superset these 2 rope exercises on the cable stack, and then dumbbell lateral raises for the side delts, 3 sets of 10 to 15. Going on to leg day number 2, we start off with trap bar deadlifts for the glutes and hamstrings. 2 sets here. You're going to work up to 1 top heavy set of 5 to 8 reps, and then you're going to do a back off set with 5 to 8 reps with about 10% lighter weight. Trap bar deadlifts do involve your quads a bit more than a conventional deadlift, but I still do consider these primarily a glute and hamstring exercise. Then we have Smith machine squats for the quads, 3 sets of 6 to 10. Lunges for the quads as well as the glutes and hamstrings, 3 sets of 8 to 12. And then we have leg extensions for the quads, 3 sets of 10 to 15. Finally, we have machine calf raises for the calves, 3 sets of 10 to 15. What program do you guys want to see me cover next? Let me know in the comments below. I am the CEO of Free Hypertrophy Programming on YouTube, and we're all about helping you to reach your dream physique. All right, now that you've seen the program, let's talk about the weekly layout. Here's my preferred setup. We have chest and back day 1, shoulders and arms 1, legs 1, chest and back 2, shoulders and arms 2, legs 2, and rest. I like this ordering of days for a couple reasons. First of all, it spreads out your legs and back training as much as possible across the week. Leg and back movements are your most fatiguing exercises in the program, and you ideally want to spread these out as much as possible. Since we have these shoulders and arms days, we can intersperse them in between our leg and chest and back training, which will help us to distribute fatigue. Note that we do have back training coming after legs in the middle of the week, but this only happens once in the week. Notice that I'll set things up so I have a rest day coming after our toughest leg day. This is a good idea because after a really tough leg workout, you're probably not going to perform as well on the workout coming after. So you may as well put a rest day there. Typically, deadlift variations are going to be your most difficult exercise in the program, so that's why I'll say that leg day number 2 is our toughest workout here. Notice that we do have shoulders coming the day after chest. We'll talk about this as a possible disadvantage of the Arnold split later. A key feature of the Arnold split is that we have shoulders and arms separate from chest and back training. This allows you to train those small muscle groups when they're fresh. Keep in mind that when you do have this kind of setup, you want the shoulders and arms day coming after chest and back, because tired shoulders and arms can impact your chest and back training, but not so much the other way around. So as a general rule of thumb, you want to have your more isolation type days coming after your more compound focused days. Chest and back training is of a higher priority because you're training bigger muscle groups and more muscle mass overall. So you really want to think about organizing your training for the best global benefit. Let's talk about the pros and cons of this 6-day Arnold split program. Starting off with the pros. This split allows you to train your shoulders and arms when they're fresh. This is a big advantage of the Arnold split over push-pull legs. In push-pull legs, you're always training your triceps after your chest and shoulders and your biceps after your back. This means you're not going to perform as well on the direct training for those small muscle groups since they are already fatigued. But when we put shoulders and arms on their own dedicated day in the Arnold split, we're able to perform better in terms of volume, that is sets times reps times weight lifted. Particularly, you'll be able to lift more weight with more reps when those muscles are fresh. Next, this program gives you a high frequency of shoulder and arm training. When you look at the program, first of all, you'll notice that I made a modification where I split some of my side delt work and put it onto chest and back days. This works well because chest and back days can be relatively short days, and this allows us to spread out our side delt volume so we perform better. Also, when we separate arms from chest and back, we're effectively training our biceps and triceps 4 times per week. This is because they are used indirectly with our chest and back movements. This effectively allows us to squeeze out more productive volume across the whole week since we're more rested for each set. Next, the Arnold split gives you a high frequency of pressing. This is something you can take advantage of with that dedicated shoulder and arm day by moving on an accessory pressing movement on that day, like an overhead press, a close grip bench press, or weighted dips. This can be great for developing your pressing strength. Finally, the Arnold split works well with supersets, particularly antagonist muscle group supersets. With chest and back days, if you wanted, you can alternate chest and back movements, and with shoulder and arm days, you can alternate biceps and triceps. This is a great way of training to save time without sacrificing productivity on your sets. When I'm setting up my program, I do think about what exercises I can superset with to make my training more efficient. I think it's really important for you to figure out how to make your training as compact as possible because this is what's going to be most sustainable for you in the long run. Bodybuilding is a long journey and you really want to set yourself up in a way that you can keep training for life. Let's talk about some disadvantages of the Arnold split program. First of all, this program has shoulders coming after chest. And this is probably the most common critique of the Arnold split. I want to point out that you can make modifications to your programs to get around this. You can modify your exercise selection, for example, putting a lower priority overhead press movement after a higher priority bench press type movement. Also, this won't be a big issue if you're able to auto-regulate. That is, not quite pushing to the point where everything is super sore after each workout. As long as you're able to modify your training stress from day to day, this won't be a problem, and a lot of highly advanced athletes work with high frequencies. Next, this program has slightly suboptimal fatigue distribution. Fatigue distribution is how you spread out your training stress across the week, and you'll see that in this program, our leg days are significantly tougher than our shoulder and arm days. However, this isn't that big of an issue for beginners or people training with low volumes, since you're just not generating that much fatigue in total. And it's still better than something like a bro split where you've got one huge leg day and then one arm day. Finally, in this program, we did have back coming after leg training in the middle of the week. You'll see that we got around this by having my first leg day as our slightly easier leg day. That is no deadlift. And then for that second chest and back day, having a vertical pulling movement as our main back movement and not a heavy axial loaded row like a barbell row or a T-bar row. And you'll see that I put our T-bar rows on the first chest and back day. If you really want to optimize your physique, check out my course, Dream Physique Nutrition. This will walk you through step by step how to transform your body from a nutritional standpoint. Nutrition plays a huge role in muscle growth and fat loss, and it's absolutely critical you get this right if you want to optimize your physique. Check out the link in the description below. When you click on it, you'll be able to watch a free video where I talk about my own fat loss journey and 4 key rules for actually making nutrition effective and sustainable. If you want to see another split set up for 6 days per week, check out this video where I share a program based on the push-pull legs Arnold split. This is a hybrid split combining push-pull legs and the Arnold split into a 6-day setup. For more free science-based hypertrophy programs, subscribe to the channel and we'll see you next time.